Hello everyone and welcome to the Darlington Raceway for the running of the Sport Clips 350 here at Darlington. 5 races left to decide your champion. Jefferson leads by 15 points over Peter Onjack, 21 over Alex Peters, 22 over Eli Bright, who is really having a late season collapse, 37 over this race's pole sitter, Sebastian Kukulon, who is 5th in points, Austin Murray 38 back, Spurleytube 41 back, Ray 47 back, Austin Johnson 57 back, and Colton Lane 60 back. Monster Motorsports not having a good time in the chase this season. But it is Sebastian Kukulon on pole again. PKN Orland picking up a few more races of sponsorship here in the chase as Kukulon is looking for his 2nd straight win in a row. He came into this season with 0 wins. He currently sits at 2 in the NSDCA and 5th in the point standings. Let's see if Kukulon can drive his way up to a possible another race victory. Alex Beniaco in 2nd just missed out on the chase. He is ready to finally break through and win for Shade Burkhardt Racing, the team that took the risk on him 2 years ago in the NSDCA. After he had 2 wins at Zachary Racing in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, Beniaco's been winless since then, looking to change that around today. And there's Spurleytube with the 28 and 3rd. Matthew Brown, who's been upside down, up and over, and DNFing the majority of the last 5 races. He's looking to bring back and rebound here, starting 4th today. And there's Anderson Reed in the 5th position. Austin Johnson is the last driver in the chase this season, the 10th seed as well. He's currently 9th in the standings, 57 points back, already a race behind after just 2 events in the chase. Zachary DeLello, Max Anderson in a chance to, show himself. This is his audition for next season in the Cup Series with the same team. Let's see if he can run as well as Adam Mitchell did in the 12 truck a couple weeks ago. Jefferson rolling off this race in 9th, and Brandon Morris for the Racing with Jesus colors in 10th. Colton Yeo returning in 11th, and a new sponsor on Cordell Smith's number 6 truck, Energy Transfer, picking up their races that they wanted to be in the earlier part of the season. They are finally back here for Arklatex Motorsports. Roger Ray in 13th, Alex Peters 15th, Peter Onjack 16th. The big threats to JJ's championship are these two right now, Onjack and Peters, 15 and 21 points behind for both of them. Onjack is the big threat. It's going to be another Season 1 Mountain Dew Custom Series championship battle. We'll see if Peter can edge out JJ this time around. Colton Lane starting mid-pack as well. There's Luke Rainey. DJ Curtis subbing in for Jose Perez this weekend as Gatlin Downey tried to qualify this team's number 61 truck in, a 2nd truck that they bought for this weekend, and he was the only one that failed to qualify. Diego Yepes in the 17 this weekend for Shade Burkhardt Racing. I guess that's what is good about BGM picking up Yepes for the Toyota camp. Now SBR has a very big threat to win this race. Further back through, Austin Murray with a poor qualifying run starting 24th. Eli Bright, the worst out of them, in 26th. That is going to be a big gain for him this race if he wants to try to make it through. This is the first time the trucks have been to Darlington. The first time that we've really enjoyed Darlington was that Cup race earlier this year. That's why they decided to bring them back in the truck chase. Sure to be an exciting race tonight. Hard to pass, but we'll see how these guys will be able to handle it for 74 laps here at the Sports Clips 350.
Drivers, start your engines.
With that, the engines are fired. We're ready to roll off for these 74 laps here at the Darlington Raceway. Under the lights at this very tough oval, these fans and drivers are ready to go racing here at Darlington, and all are excited for the truck's debut here. The Cup race was a very close one at the end in that race earlier this season, as it came down to a really fuel strategy, getting one driver, Brandon Morris, his first career NSDCA victory. One driver looking for that first career NSDCA victory here inside this top 8, Max Anderson. Can he get up there, possibly take home the victory? All the drivers ahead of him have won a National Series race in some capacity. The only one here who has not won a truck race inside the top 10 outside of Morris is that 83 of Beniaco. So let's see if Morris can double down at Darlington. Let's see if Beniaco can be the one to break through and take home the victory. You got 40 trucks ready for these long 74 laps at Darlington. Kukulon and Beniaco, your front row. It's going to be an exciting event today at the Sport Clips 350 at Darlington. Kukulon and Beniaco lead them down Green flag is in the air, and we are racing at Darlington. Immediately, Kukulon going to jump into that lead with that inside line working its magic. You got to watch that outside, though. It can make a run happen coming off of 3 and 4, but it can also put you in the wall in 1 and 2. You got to pick and choose your racing lines pretty wisely. But now it's Sebastian Kukulon out in front. We're going to go ahead to the flyby as they come off of turn number 4. Down for lap number 1. It's going to be a drag race across the line. Kukulon's going to lead lap 1, but the 28 of Spurley Tube's not going to waste any time looking to the inside of the 20 as Benyako's going to get up and get that first Darlington stripe. That's going to hold up a majority of that outside line as they try to drive off after him, and Benyako will be the first driver getting their stripe today as he's going to drop all the way back outside of the top 7. Now coming through 3 and 4 once again, Kukulon, Spurley Tube, Johnson working that outside line in that 77 as the whole field comes on by. And one of the favorite camera angles at this track right here as they fly down into turn 1, you get to hear the roar of the cars as they go around this 1.5 mile oval. Of course, it's not an oval, it's more of an egg. The minnow pond over in 3 and 4. The landowner, when they made Darlington, of course, did not want to give up his minnow farm, so they just pinched the corners down here compared to what they did in 1 and 2, giving this a very unique track and racing style. Nice to see here in the NSDCA finally as Jefferson is charging through the field already in that 48. Started this race 9th. He's right now side by side with Anderson Reed. That's for that 5th position. But give a shout out to Zachary DeLello right now hanging strong in the Plan B sales number 53. He's still inside this top 5 now chasing down championship contender Austin Johnson for that 3rd position. But Kukulon's out in front. Spurley Tube 2nd. 3 chasers in your top 3. But Jay Jefferson back in 5th is a big threat for that chase run. And you see Benyako using that outside line on Reed. Now with a big run down the straightaway, he's going to look to the inside of Jefferson heading down into turn number 1. But if you get on that apron, it could sometimes slow you down, and that's what happened to Benyako. Looks like all his momentum has lost themselves there. But now DeLello clear of Johnson into 3rd. Jay Jefferson in the 48. He's going to work that outside line now, trying to get around Austin Johnson. We had a good battle with the Monster Motorsport guys in the Cup race here. Caution is out on the racetrack. Kukulon leads him back around. And it is the rookie, Toby Christie, in the 36. Rest of the field coming on around. So Toby Christie, again, could be a championship spoiler there. And there's Alex Fletcher again, so they did the 32 and 36 tangle again for the 2nd time in 3 races. Because if you remember at Chicagoland, Alex Fletcher went in and spun out the 36 and really shook up the field there, which caused the 19 team to actually go to victory lane. There's Kukulon now. It looks like the field's going low, so we could be seeing pit stops early here. And Kukulon staying out in that 20. Could be a major change there. Kukulon, your race leader, and everyone else is coming down pit road. We're going to go to that camera angle, and yeah, the whole field is coming down except for Kukulon. It's only been 6 green flag laps, or 5 green flag laps, really. So Kukulon's record still stands. He's led every lap in both of his career wins, and right now he's led all 7 laps here at Darlington. But now Spurley Tube coming down pit road. They're going to go ahead to the attention of that Coors Light pit crew as the rest of the field goes on as well. DeLello Johnson there. So we're going to watch this 28 team. You know, it could be anything here. 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires. And it will be a splash and go for Austin Johnson that's going to get him out in front of them. Matthew Brown as well for a splash and go. Looks like Morris, Peters, Lane picking up some spots there. Jefferson might have gone for 4. That's going to lose him some time. Spurley Tube, Benyako trying to get out of pit road with those 4-tire calls. And Benyako having a bit more of a long stay on pit road. Not sure if he just was not clear to get out or what. He's going to lose some time. Might have been repairing some damage to that truck as well. And Kukulon now is going to come on down. So I'm not sure what the call is here, but he is going to stay or come in now. Austin Johnson's low. I think he's just doesn't know what Kukulon's doing. Yeah, so Kukulon will come in and pit by himself on lap 7. So maybe he's seeing RER's strategy to win when it was Kev Shearer, Priya McShane, and Adam Mitchell at Chicagoland. Maybe he's going to try an alternate strategy. And if this race could go green for a long distance, stay out, possibly win the race. But a lot of drivers came down pit road. Alex Bignacco is now way back in the pack as he's going to cross the line 22nd. So we got some stuff to take a look at before we go back racing. But now Austin Johnson in the 77 looking to change this chase around. He will be your race leader when we come back. So the first incident of the day, Toby Christie getting them rookie stripes out here at Darlington. He's on the inside 3 wide. Now Shearer tries to get to the outside, and he's just running the wall the entire way. He's going to bounce off the corner into Priya, his teammate, and right into the 36. Both trucks go spinning, so Priya definitely not in Chicagoland anymore as they slide around. But the 19 and the 36 spin around on the backstretch to bring us to the first caution of the day. Back live here at the Sport Clips 350. Austin Johnson, your race leader, did not take any tires, just a fuel-only pit stop. As well, that goes for Morris, Peters, Lane, Brown, Irving Allison, DJ Curtis, Luke Rainey, Aiden Smith, and Logan Bradley. All other drivers on the track, including Kukulon, took 4 tires. The 32 had a flat tire in that Simtech Racing Incorporated truck, and he is now sitting 15th. Because restart rules are crazy, but because he was able to somehow come down during a closed pit, 32 is out in front. Or is up inside the top 15, not out in front. Austin Johnson, Matthew Brown, Brandon Morris, Alex Peters, Colton Lane, your top 5. All of these drivers took no tires, just a fuel only, a splash and go to continue on. We'll see what will happen on this restart. Irving Allison, DJ Curtis, your top 7, all took fuel only. Colton Yo, the first driver in line in that 02 truck, who came down for tires. As they come on around. Green flag's back in the air. A massive jump by Austin Johnson puts him way out in front of the Toyotas. Green flag's back in the air here at Darlington. Drivers getting up to full song here. Austin Johnson in the race lead. 1 truck down pit road. That's Priya McShane. Might be stopping to repair a bit more damage there. Colton Yo getting his Darlington stripe in that 02. It's really turns 1 and 2 that are the scary part. And you'll see Jesse Turner bouncing off the wall further back there. But as we go up front, Colton Lane now making a move on Alex Peters. You got Irving Allison to the very bottom of Curtis. And DJ Curtis almost had this race won this year. And that was his last chance, really, at taking a race victory. But it was fuel strategy at the end that destroyed both his and Brady Burkhart's chances at winning the race and gave it to the 55 of Morris. So Curtis really looking for redemption here in the 35 truck. I think that's really why team boss Diego Yepes got him in this truck for this weekend. Here comes Zachary DeLello in the 53, Jay Jefferson 48, Peter Onjack 44. They are all on those fresh tires as Alex Peters is starting to drop like a rock in the 45 truck. Jefferson now is going to pick up a spot possibly on one of his championship rivals. And you got the top 3 in the point standings right under a blanket there, Jefferson, Peters, and Onjack as they go. But up in front, battle for second starting to heat up as Austin Johnson is going to get his Darlington stripe up the track, and that's going to allow the 16 of Brown by. And here comes the 89 of Morris in the 89 truck. He's going to take second away from Monster Motorsports as Austin Johnson. If he can clear it, not going to be able to coming off the corner. Johnson puts the power down, but that Darlington stripe to the 77 is going to cost him the race lead. Give it to the 16 of Matthew Brown. 14 laps into the 74-lap event. Jay Jefferson all over the back of Irving Allison as they come on through. And really, you're going to see most of those stripes happening on these restarts as the tires are new and you got these guys packed up. And look at this pack of trucks from Eli Bright all the way on back. So that's about 20th on back. Everyone just under a blanket here at Darlington as they go at it. Up in front, though, we got a battle for the race lead as now Matthew Brown is under attack from Johnson. Johnson was way under the apron there. That's going to cost him some time. But right now, the top 2 chase contenders are the 9th and 10th drivers in the standings currently, being Austin Johnson 57 points back, Colton Lane 60 points back in that 60 truck. But now That's the scary man right there. There's Jay Jefferson, Peter Onjack tearing on through. It's 15 points that separate them entering this race. But if Jefferson even finishes 1 point ahead of Peter, it's going to give him an advantage into the chase still. So Onjack really needs to be driving hard. Irving Allison now going to get his stripe in that 82 car as he's way up the track. Alex Peters as well bouncing off of the wall. So it looks like these trucks are a lot harder to handle here at Darlington. It's either that or these guys are pushing, and Alex Peters on those, you know, they're not too much older tires, but they don't have the grip that some of these guys have as we have a battle for the race lead. Matthew Brown trying to hang on as best he can over Colton Lane and Austin Johnson as Onjack's now into fourth. Jefferson's dropping back a bit there on that outside line. Johnson really close to the outside wall, but it looks like Lane will be able to hold that momentum coming off of the corner there. Onjack in the 44, he's the first driver in line on those 4 fresh tires, and here he comes with a charge to the race lead. Is now Colton Lane, Austin Johnson. It's just a traffic jam for a lot of these drivers, and we saw this in the Cup race that it was a lot harder to pass, especially when you got strung out. But even in a pack, it's just really difficult to make any moves happen here as you just have nowhere to go. Look at Roger Ray in the 84. He has 4 fresh ones as well. He's moving towards the front, and this is what he needs to even have a championship fight. 47 points back is a race behind, and he's just hoping that this one goes nice and clean. But easily, he could be back in the fight if something happens to his boss, Peter Onjack, and the 48 of Jefferson. Well, Ray would be right back in hunting distance as we still have, after this race, 4 races to go. Onjack, Ray now charging on that inside line. They're going to make it work against the Monster Motorsports duo. You got the Onj Auto Chase duo versus the MM Chase duo. Max Anderson riding that outside wall. But now Onjack clearing to second, and hopefully for him as he's going to make a dive to the bottom of Brown. Those fresher tires already working, and that is going to get that 44 Onjack into the lead, and Roger Ray now is going to follow him through into that second spot. Jay Jefferson back in 5th, trying to work his way past the Monster Motorsports and BGM drivers. But I think now you'll start to see as Brown is going to get a piece of that wall in that 16 truck. So really turn 1 and 2 is just eating drivers alive. And you really got to just watch those tires and make sure you don't end up with a Darlington stripe yourself, because that could kill your momentum. As Jefferson, a giant run in the 48 truck, is going to get him into second. And what a move there. The Sport Clips number 48 and the Sport Clips 350, 21 laps through. He's going to move himself into second and charging on race leader Peter Onjack. Looking at the back here, though, there is the 63 Lotus Disparito. This sponsor... Yeah, you know, it's nice to see JSR getting new sponsors in Fat Boy Ice Cream, but they signed on to drive for Joseph Strigley, and Strigley hasn't driven this truck yet since they signed on, so gotta wonder what's happening there. There's Zach Rogers. Kukulon, you know, we said it's going to be hard for him to make moves in this field, and he's only up to maybe inside the top 30 if he can get by Colton Yeo here with a big run down the front. So Kukulon, yeah, he's only 30th now. He's got a long way to go if he wants to get back into this points hunt. But there's Zach Rogers in the 03. Nice to see him there. One truck blowing up on the apron, and we jinxed it. It is the Sport Clips 48, Jay Jefferson. And again, caution is... No, I thought a caution was out. And just like at Iowa last season, that could be... what changes his championship hopes. The 48 truck is done in this event. And we're going to see if we can get the report on that. It's an engine failure. TSR's engine program has just not been good in the reliability department. And his truck's blowing up. His day is done. And right there in front, there he is. As he's going to get the wall. Peter Onjack pushing way too hard. He's going to get his stripe coming off of the corner. That's going to bring his driver, Roger Ray, into it. So Ray's going to blow by for the lead. But Onjack is just enjoying this. Even if he doesn't win, he'd be the points leader as they sit. But that's big for everyone in the standings. And now what you're looking at, Alex Peters is having a bad day. He's fallen pretty far back in that 45 truck. As he's, you know, he's just kind of riding at the back of the tail end of this pack. He's 21 points up. Eli Bright, only a few spots ahead of him in 16th, 22 points back from Jefferson. Antoine Smith going to get his stripe now. But Onjack is the only one now. He was 15 points behind Jay. If Onjack has a bad race or something goes wrong with him, this championship hunt is blown wide open. Spurley-Tube third, DeLello's fourth, Lane versus Johnson for fifth. There's been Yakko back inside the top 10. Anderson Reed working his way inside the top 10. Look at that. Patrick Smith. We told you. We've told you Antoine Smith is going to get his little stripe again in that 0-0. Really not handling it the way he wants it to today. Eli Bright also. Looks like Stephen Wallace Jr. back there. So handling in these trucks are very hard to deal with, it appears right now in this race. These do handle differently from the Cup cars, so you even see the Cup guys struggling, like Stephen Wallace Jr. But Patrick Smith, give him the shout-out that he deserves once again, just outperforming that 94 equipment week in and week out, even in the Mountain Dew Custom Series and the trucks in the Cup. Really, Patrick Smith is the big ticket for CFRO as the years progress. There's Austin Murray starting to climb his way back through the field. Eli Bright, Alex Peters back there. But as we said, yeah, right now let's take a look at some of the guys where they're running. Kukulon is still working his way through. He's up inside the top 27 now. Kukulon entered this race 37 points back. So if you're looking at the drivers that were about a race back or more, those being Kukulon, Murray, Spurley-Tube, Ray, Johnson, and Lane. Ray sits first, Spurley-Tube's third, Johnson fifth, Lane eighth. Murray and Kukulon. Murray's right now 14th, Kukulon's 26th. Now Jay's out. Onjack has had some damage to that truck, so it might not be running as well after he got that stripe. You saw him losing time to Ray. Alex Peters is not running very well, and neither is Bright. So your four guys that are like in striking distance of the points lead outside of Onjack are having poor or horrible days. And Peter up in second. This could be his championship lead here. But for Spurley-Tube and especially this man right here, Roger Ray, we said, you know, the Cup race had a winner who had never won a National Series competition. And neither has Roger Ray. And right now, this 84 truck is on fire. DeLello, that's a different place to get your stripe. He just went way wide coming out of the corner. But I think the harder thing is just following in a pack like this. Look at all the dirty air you're going to have to deal with, missing braking points. You got a bunch of lines that work. That's the nice thing about it, is that outside or inside can work. Just depends on how you mount your charge. And that's why a lot of fans enjoyed this. As you see, Alex Peters just fly by Cordell Smith and Diego Yepes. But give Cordell a shout-out. 19th right now in that 6th truck. He's going to lose 20th or 19th to Yepes there as he goes back a spot. But a great run. That's TUP range for Cordell Smith right now. That's some great running there for that 6th truck. But a lot of these guys are just in the pack, and the packs really have not split up, unlike the Cup race. Up front, they've spread out. Looks like the 25 has some front end damage, but they are coming in with the 63. 63, there's a flat tire on Disparito, who's in the 63 this weekend. So maybe he got some damage, or maybe Kobza here in the 25 got some damage from Disparito. We'll see if we can get a report on that soon. But the difference from this and the Cup race was very strung out. I don't think it had a caution in the opening laps. I think it was green flag for a good portion of it. But you really didn't see packs like this forming up, even at the back. Like, the back markers were kind of spread out even as they come around here. But right now, you got a ton of trucks under a blanket down that front straightaway. Even right here, you got a ton of trucks battling each other as they go. And a lot of trucks getting those Darlington stripes is now Spurley-Tube's going to squeeze to the outside of Onjack, and that's a move done for second. So two drivers who entered the chase with high hopes, Riley Spurley-Tube, Roger Ray, who were really taking their first attempts at a true championship run in the NSDCA. They are right now first and second on the comeback, but Onjack is all over the back of Riley again, and this is showing again, week in and week out, it's Onjato and TSR. They are the dominant forces. Jay has 3 wins. Peter has none in the trucks, but he has 3 in the Cup Series with that Richmond win last time out. Eli Bright with 3 wins. He's TSR. Riley Spurleytube with 3 wins. In 15 or in one with 1 win, sorry. But in 15 races, TSR went to victory lane 7 times so far. And if Spurleytube can cap this off for 8 and 16, they'd still be batting over a 500 or at a 500. So TSR has been dominant this year, but it looks like with Jay's issue, you know, you got to start wondering. You got to start wondering about TSR. They have the power. They have the speed. They have the drivers. I mean, Spurleytube's coming back. Bright's coming back. Jefferson's coming back in the Truck or the Cup Series. And they just can't pull it off because last year an engine failure cost him at Iowa. And now Darlington, you know, engine failure here. You've seen Bright have some mechanical issues, Spurleytube mechanical issues this year. You just got to wonder if TSR is putting all their funding into the wrong place and they need to start working on that reliability in their trucks and even the Cup cars to actually compete with the teams like Onjack. But still, you can't say Onjack's been good either. Dodge has really had mechanical issues a ton. At Talladega, we've seen it. At Mosport, we've seen it. And now here, you know, in the championship fights, we've seen it. So Roger Ray out in front. This is his first good attempt at running this chase so far. He's running up there pretty well. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here at 38-74. Bring you guys back to the action at the Sport Clips 350 right after these words from our sponsors. Back live here at Darlington, we just saw Austin Johnson under brake dive down pit road, so it looks like Johnson's starting the fuel cycle. We're going to keep the camera here for a little bit just so you can see through the field as well if we can see if anyone is indeed coming down pit road. But it looks like up front the field's starting to spread out. Really, it's not until this group back here, DJ Curtis on back, that's under a blanket and racing each other. Now you see Alex Peters coming on in. Looks like Aiden Smith in the 68 coming on in. So that is some of the drivers that did not pit for tires under that caution. But Onjack's also in the 44. So Onjack's in on lap 40. If they made it from lap 6 to lap 40, that would be, as I believe that's Eli, that's not Eli Bright, that is a green truck. That is Morris in the 89, but more are coming down pit road. So we're going to keep it right here so you can see the drivers coming down pit road and what laps. But if you go from 40 to 6, you know, that's 34 laps. 34 laps from this point right here is the end of the race. And with, again, no green-white checkers in the Crown Royal Truck Series, at least for this year, meaning the race will end at lap 74. So you got to think Austin Johnson, he's the only one that pit before lap 40. He could be the one running out of fuel at the end of this, which would really just end his championship hopes. But you got the rest of the field coming on in. Roger Ray is down for their tires, and it's 4 tires and fuel. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you have enough to make it to the end of the stint, that's how it's going to be. There is Austin Johnson in the 77. There's Aiden Smith. Smith was at the tail end of the field, so Smith might be a lap down. Austin Johnson has jumped Peter Onjack by a ton, so either Peter had a poor pit stop or Johnson had a great one. So we'll see when it cycles around. You also got a lot of trucks, you know, with those, with the issues, the Darlington stripes, and it really affects the handling of your truck. So Anderson Reed's your current race leader. Let's go see if we can find him there in that 41 truck. So if there he is, he's coming down pit road now. If it's to be believed, everyone should be able to make it to the end of the race. I don't think there's Austin Johnson's an iffy, but you also saw these guys, they made it to lap 43 before pitting from lap 6. So you can stretch it. You can definitely stretch it. But now, see, as this cycles around, it's a bit of a scuffed running here. Yeah, Austin Johnson should cycle back to the race lead. That's probably because, you know, he just doesn't have damage from the wall. There's Alex Bignacco. This could be for the race lead right here, actually. Or a position. No, there's Spurleytube. Spurleytube pit. No. I believe your race leader's going to cycle to Riley Spurleytube in the 28 truck. Or Morris. No, Morris is 32nd across the line, so it looks like... Whoa, don't do that. Where is Roger Ray? Oh, there's Ray. Bit of a poor pit stop there. McShane back down pit road, so I'm not sure if that's a scheduled stop or what. Flying through the field, let's get the update as they cross the line, and it is Riley Spurleytube, now your race leader. In second is Austin Johnson in the 77. Third is now Benyako. Patrick Smith is fourth. Anderson Reed fifth. Onjack sixth. So it does indeed look like teams tried to go down and figure out if there was an issue with the Darlington stripes. And, you know, you get that here at a track that's so hard to drive. Austin Murray's now fighting Roger Ray. That is for that 7th position as Murray's going to slam the door on Ray. This is a good battle starting to heat up between two chase contenders. It's going to bring another one into the fray with Alex Peters back there as Alex Peters sits 9th and DJ Curtis is 10th. Stephen Wallace Jr. sits 11th. Brown is fighting Max Anderson for the 12th position. 14th is Yepes. 15th now DeLello. Lane is 16th. Cobbs is laps down, so Bradley's 17th. Kugelon's up to 18th. Rainey 19th. Antoine Smith 20th. Fay 21st. Goforth 22nd. Bright 23rd. Toby Christie is actually 24th. A great recovery from a spin earlier. Cordell Smith back to 25th. Nicky Morris 26th. That is Nicky Morris, yes. Monaco 27th, almost in the back of him. Shearer 28th. Cloud 29th. Disparito 30th. Morris 31st. Or... one of those guys. Disparito's 4 laps down. But that puts the lead over to Riley Spurleytube in the 28. He now leads by a pretty wide margin over Austin Johnson. Back there in second. Alex Benyako in third. Patrick Smith right there in fourth. And as Aiden Smith bounces off the wall, Anderson Reed sits fifth. Onjack 6th, Ray 7th. A great run for Onjato right now. Bradley enjoying that outside wall, but it looks like turn 1 is just the difficult part of the track, and you're running almost wide open through it. That's probably why. Now, Spurleytube getting into the fight here with Disparito and Morris, so that's going to slow him down a bit. In that 28 truck, so Spurleytube working lap traffic now. We'll see if that will play a factor. Now he's going to look to the inside of Disparito. She's running her truck right now, 39th. Morris going to go up with the 63. We'll see if the straight line speed in that TSR 28 can beat out the JSR. And it will into the corner, and it will go ahead. So Disparito drops back. She's also on older tires, has not made her pit stop yet. But Spurleytube is your race leader by a wide margin over now Alex Benyako, who's caught and passed Austin Johnson for second, but now they're going to battle. And Benyako, if he comes up short yet again, you got to start feeling for him. He's had so many dominant trucks, so many race-winning trucks, and now he sits in that second spot. And, you know, it could have been still from pit strategy or what have you, but he's currently in that second position, chasing down race leader Riley Spurleytube, if he can, that is. Spurleytube now getting away as the lappers go after each other. Jesse Turner, it looks like his great resurgence has come to an end. There's Patrick Smith. This is where the battling's starting to happen, though. Peter Onjack and 3 chase contenders back here fighting the lap truck. The championship implications right there in that 32 truck being Alex Fletcher, of course, for the Chicagoland incident. That pretty much single-handedly just knocked Colton Yeo completely out of the chase. But Roger Ray in the 84 now. Austin Murray in the 91. Peter Onjack's just a couple spots ahead of him, but they're fighting for the same spots on track. Different real estate with some lappers in the middle being McShane and Yeo. And speaking of these two have been pretty much the stories of the Truck Series this season. Of course, McShane taking the win at Chicagoland, being the first part-time driver in who knows how long to win a Crown Royal Truck Series race. And, of course, Colton Yeo, the driver who was gunning for the chase this year. Now Austin Johnson works his way past Ray. Never mind. He's going to use that outside line. Yeo is right in front of him, taking away Ray's line, taking away that momentum. And Onjack now trying to work past Zach Rogers. You got a ton of trucks here just trying to work their way around this track. And Austin Murray in the 91 now looking back to the inside of Colton Yeo. Will he be able to clear him? Now Alex Fletcher trying to get in the fight with Ray. I don't think Ray's going to take too kindly to that. Alex Peters fighting off DJ Curtis, and here comes Curtis. And Alex Peters, actually, an interview after the last race out here in the Truck Series at Richmond, he said, get these leeches out of here. Alex Peters is the only driver. He and Bright are in the top 5 in the standings. They're the only 2 that aren't leeches. Of course, Jefferson, Onjack, and Jefferson, Onjack, and Kukalon are running the Cup Series this season. But Alex Peters showed his disgust for racing with leeches, and as DJ Curtis passes him, that's going to lose him another point in the standings that he could have gained on Jefferson. So Peters not too happy with the leeches so far, and saying, they need to go race back up in the Cup Series where they belong. So we'll see. But Alex Peters, of course, he could be Cup Series racing next season as well. We'll see if he leeches for the team. Now Roger Ray back to the bottom on Murray. We're just going to take a look at the intervals up top. And yeah, it is. Wait! Riley Spurleytube! TSR! I can't believe it. TSR is another mechanical failure for TSR. It's a camshaft out on the 28 truck, and that hands the lead to Alex Benyako with under 20 laps to go. And TSR is absolutely screwed. Whoever is getting those engines in, whoever makes the TSR, the Dodge engines, they are fast. They are bad fast, but they do not have the reliability underneath them, and it's shown. It's honestly shown. The faster your engine is, and it's proven in the NSDCA as well as other testing, that a higher engine, a better engine, leads to more mechanical failures. And who has the best engines in the garage is the TSR boys. So are they? Irving Allison's just going to slap the wall. Also, Irving is racing his teammate very hard for Alex trying to get his first career win. But TSR, they have such a good engine program, but maybe they're getting too much out of those engines. They're trying to go for as much as they can, and they're just pushing too much because that's the second failure there. And you've noticed before, once one TSR engine drops, a lot actually do. So Dodge's engine program, Toyota might not be flashy and might not have the wins. The only win this season so far is Irving Allison's and Matthew Brown's, I guess. I forgot about Brown, but Benyako, though, he's been consistent. He hasn't really blown engines. He's just been running his races and gets caught up at the wrong time. He has a 5.5-second lead over Austin Johnson, who's desperately trying to make a chase run here. Anderson Reed now in the 41, a big run off the corner. He's going to steal second from Johnson. So now we got some chase spoilers here up in front. You also got Patrick Smith in fourth, just barely hanging on. Onjack is trying to hang on over now. DJ Curtis has lit a flame under that 35 truck. He's charging straight towards the front, and that's going to be fifth on Onjack. So Onjack sixth, Murray seventh, Ray eighth, Peters ninth, and Yepes puts the 17 truck into the top 10. Sebastian Kukalon, what a recovery, up to 15th. I still don't trust that strategy. I don't know why he did it, but that's what it's looking like right now. But with just 13 laps to go here at the Sport Clips 350, the driver in the race lead and looking for his first Crown Royal Truck Series victory is the 83 of Alex Benyako. He's trying to hang on. This has been a chaotic race. Darlington Stripes is the name of the game, and we did not see that many in the Cup race, but they have just been pushing these trucks to the limit. These are heavier trucks, too. See, Morris is going to get his, but these are heavy trucks. It's hard to get them to turn, especially when you're pushing, and I guess Morris is trying to push for that 29th position because that's all he can get in that truck. But Benyako's still 6.5 seconds ahead of Johnson and Reed, as Reed and Johnson are going back and forth. Patrick Smith 9 seconds back, but closing in on the top, on second and third. DJ Curtis has lit a flame under that truck. He's now inside the top 5. If there's somehow a late race restart, and apparently all the lappers pit, he could possibly win this race. But I don't think he's going to gain 11 seconds in in just a couple laps. Roger Ray is just trying to get as many points as he can. Onjack is enjoying this because wherever he finishes, if he finishes inside the top 10, he's got that points lead in the bag. Austin Murray trying to hang on up there. Alex Peters is starting to fade. That 45 truck's starting to get weaker as this race progresses. Eli Bright, 23rd. Bright and Ray just have not been hitting on all cylinders. And Morris is showing his skill here at Darlington. Goes from winning the race to walling it every time he turns the corner as he almost hits Alex Benyako coming off the corner. Good God, man, was Season 4 not enough for you? But Alex Benyako out in front, coming around to 10 to go. Morris is long gone. Now he has to fight his teammate off again, Irving Allison. And Austin Johnson actually gained some time there, 5.4 seconds. Reed is pushing Johnson for all he's got. Here they come across the line. Are they gaining any more? No, it's back to 6 seconds. Either way, you'd have to be gaining almost a second a lap just to be catching up to the race leader and Alex Benyako. So remember, though, we said these guys pit on lap 40. From that opening stint, some drivers only could make it 34 laps. So as we come down here, that'll be the question. Does the fuel last here at Darlington? But Benyako now working his way back past Morris. We'll see what'll happen. There is McShane. I think she's actually caught up to these two. There's Patrick Smith now working his way past Jesse Turner. That's going to get him possibly into a fight for that second, third, and fourth position. DJ Curtis has disappeared once again as Yepes now is into the top 10. And give a shout out to Yepes. This 17 truck, I'm going to be honest here. You know, we said at the beginning of the season, Ethan Head was not the right driver to run at SBR. And I think now this is showing it. William Duncan, a top 10 run at Mosport. Brandon Beal, you know, had some struggles at Darlington, but now Yepes has put this truck in the top 10. And Yepes can drive some pretty bad equipment to good finishes. He got Shepard a top 10 last season at the Pocono doubleheader. But he's up here, and he has speed here at the end, and now he's fighting Peter Onjack. You know, Diego's got to watch around Peter because he is a championship rival in the Cup Series. Don't want to take out Peter's possible sweep that he could get if he wins both the truck and Cup titles. Man, what a statement that would be, too, if Peter could somehow sweep the truck and Cup titles in the season, and that would give him all 3 National Series championships there in the Onjato 44. Austin Murray now looking to on the outside of Onjack. Got a good battle going on up there, but it's all Alex Benyako out in front. Christie now starting to drive where that truck is supposed to be. Irving Allison continues to pull away from the 83 truck, but we are coming down to crunch time here. Benyako can back off. He has 6 seconds ahead, especially if he thinks he can't make it on fuel. He's just driving away with this thing right now, and you know, Riley Spurlitz had this thing in the bag, and the engine at TSR, that program just screwed him out of it. Same with Jefferson. Both trucks had race-winning speed here, and if they got in the race lead in the clean air, it was over. But their reliability issues just cannot be passed, and SBR is showing, you know, they're slow and steady, slow and steady. They've said this year, you know, SBR is a shell of its former self. Only Brady is in the chase in both series. Only Brady is the only driver that can win a title this year for SBR in all 3 National Series competition. And right now, you know, Irving Allison scored a win earlier this year. It kind of fell back, but Benyako's coming. He's been closing. He was close making the chase again. You know, this won't change missing the chase for Alex, but it'll be a whole lot sweeter just to finally get that monkey off his back and into victory lane. As he comes around, 4 laps to go for Alex. But as a Toyota fan, as an SBR fan, and as an Alex Benyako fan, you just got to be questioning. You got a nagging question in the back of your mind. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to this 83 truck? And, you know, a lot of the fans are now, you know, glued to the TV because this announcer right here is starting to put those questions in your mind. What's going to happen? And that's going to happen. He's going to get into the wall. Darlington Stripe there trying to get some momentum. It might be the tires going away from him. 3 to go for Alex Benyako. Second is Anderson Reed, who has now launched away from Austin Johnson. Roger Ray has caught Patrick Smith. Battle for 4th. Diego Yepes up to 6th. Murray 7th. Curtis 8th. Onjack 9th. DeLello 10th. Kukulon versus Peters for the 11th and 12th positions. Rest of the field coming on around. We don't see anyone pitting. 2 laps to go for Benyako. Looking for that first Truck Series win. First win in 3 years and first win for SBR. 2 to go for the Brisk Ice T83. This is sure to be a pretty popular win if he can take it home. And he's on his way to doing so. Out of turn number 1. Turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. He's coming to the white flag this time by. Caution comes out. Race is over. He doesn't have to matter that. He just has to manage his tires. Austin Johnson, we said he was going to run out of fuel, and he will. He'll be the one out in the 77. White flag is in the air for Benyako as Austin Johnson's definitely out of the championship hunt now as he drops down the order. And one more to go for Benyako. He didn't have the dominant truck. One truck is slow on the apron. That's DeLello as he had a fuel. We'll get an update on that. But Alex Benyako said, you know, does he deserve an SBR ride? Does he deserve to be taking the flagship truck and then a cup car next year for SBR? Well, he's going to prove it today. Finally, it works out for him. Alex Benyako, first career win in the Truck Series. And the tears on the radio from the head of SBR, Shade Eves, Brady Burkhardt, Alex Benyako, the fans that have stuck behind him for years. He wanted ZR, made the move to SBR thinking it would be great. Hasn't been able to get there, but now he does. And Alex Benyako outlasts the competition. First win at Darlington. That is fantastic to see for Shade Burkhardt Racing. And just like Tip Foster's wins, you know, in the past years, it might not mean much in a championship hunt because you're not in the chase, but it does not mean that he's not going to be celebrating like he just won the title. He finally gets into victory lane for that 83 team. And for SBR, even Ditech, you know, you had drivers at Ditech that were just wanting their team boss to finally get in there, finally get into victory lane. And maybe it takes TSR blowing up, but Benyako was in the position. You cannot say, you know, he might not have caught Riley Spurley too, but you had to make those moves, you had to make those calls, and you had to have that pace to be at the right place at the right time. And he still led that last bit of laps. Kept it clean, kept his nose out of trouble, took home the victory. Diego Yepes, an amazing top 5 finish for SBR as well. Patrick Smith, 3rd. Roger Ray, 4th. Austin Murray, 6th. Onjack, 7th. Curtis up to 9th, and the chase contenders round out the top 10. Colton Lane falls to 12th. Eli Bright, 18th, is not going to be too good for him. Austin Johnson's out of the chase hunt now. 57 points back and just lost more to Onjack. It's pretty much over for that. Jay Jefferson, his title hopes are not over, but he is not happy. Riley Spurley, too, that might be the nail in the coffin for him, especially after he was ready to win this race. But Jefferson is not out of this one. Do not count Jay out until the white flag or even the checkered flag, you know, at Kansas. So we'll see what will happen in the coming races. We got 4 races left. Sure to be exciting. And don't forget, you got a lot of great races left. Talladega, Iowa, Kansas in that mix. And I believe Charlotte was the other track that we'll be going to in the chase here. Any way you slice it, Alex Benyako scores his first Crown Royal Truck Series win in that 83 truck. Anderson Reed was catching at the end, just not enough time. Comes home 2nd. Patrick Smith 3rd, completing a top three spoilers there in the truck race here, with the non-chase drivers taking home the victories. But the championship hunt still strong. You got a lot of drivers now that just got their championship hopes blown wide open with that mechanical failure from Jefferson. We'll see if he can rebound at the next race, the Cup race, coming up soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.